and gentlemen, thank you very much. I am what I am, and I'm going to be the very best of what I am. And for those who don't like me confidentially, I don't give a damn. I'd like to thank you for letting me be myself.
Welcome back to episode 4 of Warm the Crib podcast. I'm Rahmonn.
I'm Darien.
And we're live, sort of. We're live right now, but for you, it'll be recorded. What's up, everybody? D, how was your week?
My week was good. Same thing as always, work. I walked a couple times, so I'm trying to stick to it a little bit. The other thing of self-care I did do is I slept my ass off this week. I ain't gonna lie. I slept my ass off a lot.
Did you start with meditation at sleep, or you just went to sleep regularly?
I was just out.
You see, I sent an article in the group chat. It was about people. It's not uncommon.
Oh, it's not.
For people to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So read the article. It's pretty interesting.
All right. I ain't even noticed.
Zach, the man behind the cam, was good, brother?
Not much. Living health, living well.
I feel like I seen you all day since I saw you at 8 o'clock this morning, but you do look like you're about to rob a bank. But
all blacked out.
As usual, appreciate you, brother.
Always.
We were just listening to the Kanye album. The
Conway
album. That shit is fire.
It is. That's fire.
We're not a music podcast, but go check that shit out. Like when I described my type of rap last week, this album is the epitome of it. Great album. And last week we talked about something that I learned about you that I had never knew about you. About what your dream was.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to pour into that.
Right.
I don't want it to be a passing moment.
Yeah.
So I got you something.
What?
Hang on.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Hey. Right. Right. I appreciate that, bro. It's a woodworking book. Facts.
Yeah.
And got me a tool belt. My
Got
God.
your first tool belt.
Facts. I appreciate that all the way. Yeah. Definitely. I appreciate that.
And once you start getting good, I'm gonna start have you make me some custom consoles.
Facts. I do it, no problem.
The first ones might be crooked, but you know it's okay.
They gonna have some shit with them, but it's all right.
This is 101. Let's see what else was on the old agenda.
All right.
Zach, you get held up at the gym this week? No, you good?
Nah, he held the gym up this week.
I was off, honestly. I was off my self-care shit this week. Like, I don't know, change because I was closing a lot. Now I'm opening more. Not that I'm complaining.
Yeah.
But just having your body switch back and forth.
Yep, that'll definitely have a toll on you.
Yeah.
Switching
but otherwise,
schedules, yeah.
It's been pretty good.
Right.
I wanted to start a new segment since we're always talking about positivity regardless of what we went through. And I think we should start every show saying something we're grateful for.
Right. Facts.
All right. What are you grateful for, sir?
I am grateful for the wife and kids, my family.
Okay.
I'm truly grateful for them because they make me want to be a better person, and they're literally my support team. So that's what I'm truly grateful for. The number one thing, and I'm glad that was the first one to put out there because that is truly my what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for, my guy?
Not the copycat, but I'm grateful for Susan.
Right.
Susan's been a big support. You know, we met during a tumultuous time in my life, and if she's still around after we had this conversation tonight, you know, even better. But no, like super supportive woman.
Yeah.
And every like, you know,
That's
she gives
what
up a
every man
Saturday
need.
night, like, you know, like your wife does every Saturday night for us.
So
to
we can do this. Facts.
So Zach, what are you grateful for this week, sir?
Waking up.
All right.
Waking up.
That's an
that
important
is
one.
something to be grateful for. A lot of people aren't grateful for that, but
No.
you need to be.
It's funny, a lot of customers, they'll come in, I'll be like, how you doing today? It's like, I'm upright, I'm good.
Right.
Let's see what else I got on the list here. Just in the news, everything's crazy.
It's just crazy.
I hope we're not about to see World War III, but every day it seems
Every
like
day
it.
it seems like it's leaning more and more towards it.
And I get into this thing where I start watching, like I stopped watching the news because it was just depressing and anxious.
I don't watch the news, but since this shit happened, it seemed like I just can't help but pay attention to what's going on.
And then after, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you good. Nah, cause I was say, cause you know, normally in the news, all they show is bad, bad, bad. One little tiny smidge of good and then bad, 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 bad. But like this is something that's detrimental to everybody if it happens. Like, it ain't nobody gonna be safe. It's gonna be a bad time, and we already done been through a whole pandemic. Now
I finally thought we was gonna get a good summer.
We gotta jump out the pandemic in the war. Like,
I was just about to buy the Roots picnic tickets again, and I was like, maybe I'll wait till next year. We'll see what happens.
Facts. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been watching, like, we've been blessed minus the Civil War to have never fought a war since then on our own land. And now you have nuclear missiles and shit in space. And so I was like watching all these videos, and I found this guy's videos, and he talked about how we have a geographic advantage based on where we are. And I'm not going to go into it because I could talk about that for 30 minutes, but I'll send you the link. It was fascinating. You like,
yeah, I definitely need that.
I feel a little bit more comfortable until I watched the one afterward about like long range missiles. So.
Right.
But, thoughts and prayers with everybody involved. Some of the picture. I'm kind of staying off social right now because some of the pictures will just bring you down and keep you down. So we're going to take that away from you guys. I had read an article. A lot of times the topics, one of us will read an article about something we thought was interesting. And I came across this article that says everybody has 3 loves in their life. Mm-hmm. They're in love 3 times. Excuse me. Let me quote it right. And so the first thing I thought we should define, because I've always, in my head, not exactly sure what that means.
What love means? In
love.
Yeah.
I give you for instance. So let me read the definition, and then I will talk about what our thoughts are on it.
Yeah.
So it says, being in love generally refers to those intense feelings at the start of a relationship that include infatuation, happiness, excitement, and nervousness.
You said infatuating, excitement, nervousness, and what was the other one? Or was that it?
Infatuation, happiness, excitement, and nervousness.
I guess it all depends, because everybody's determination of love in love is different.
Right.
Like, me personally, I feel like there's no actual measurable thing for being in love. Like, I feel like if somebody's in love, you don't need that person. You want that person, which is a big difference. A lot of people say that they need their significant other, but in reality, you should want somebody, because if you need somebody, they end up getting used all up, and it's not.
Oh, okay. I was like,
you was wondering where I was going with it.
I'm gonna listen.
Nah, that's facts though, because like I feel like if you want somebody around, it basically is somebody who makes you a better person, somebody who you feel like a connection with that will last more than just this moment.
Right.
Because a lot of people stick into that moment, and that's where people get confused, because the beginning of the relationship isn't the relationship.
It's kind of like that saying you hear where you don't know your real friends until you're both rich.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating. I never thought about it like that. I've always looked at it like some partners place importance on being in love, right? And I've always looked at in love as that temporary part of it, right? Like you said, that excitement, like, oh, I can't wait to see this person tonight, or now, fellas, I can't.
And that's
hang
what
out
everybody
tonight.
think it is.
And I think some people get caught up in, because it feels great, right? It's like a high, it's euphoric. And some people get caught up when they don't feel that anymore, and then they think they're not in love, or they think it's more important to always be in love.
Yeah.
Like for me, love lasts longer, right? I say you love a person until you ultimately hate them, because it's equal and opposite, passionate. You can't hate anybody that you've never loved. My belief.
Nah, that's true. I believe it. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, because you have to have some type of emotion for somebody to hate. Like that's a strong thing. So is love. Like they're strong things. So you have to feel some type of emotion towards it to do that. So I definitely do understand that.
Okay. So they say the first love is the one that you meet in high school. That's the one that's, like you see in the movies, right? And my ex used to say to me all the time, a relationship's not like you see on the Cosby Show, because everything always seemed to work great, even when they argued. And I think everybody goes through an early phase in life when they think that's how love's supposed to be. It's supposed to be perfect, smooth, no kinks, like the beginning and the end of a rom-com, romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be. And to me, that's the in love feeling. It's like an employee, and you get a new employee. Everything's gravy until the first time there's a disagreement.
Yeah.
That's why I love in a relationship when you get into a disagreement the first time, because honestly, it tells both people a lot about the other person. Zach, why are you scheduled to go to bed at 7:00 at night? Sorry.
Zach said night.
Can somebody get me a pillow?
Facts.
So I'm assuming you experienced the
Three
first
loves?
love. Would
The
you say
first
you've
love?
experienced 3 loves?
I mean,
Your wife's watching.
I know.
I was just make sure you remember it.
I know, but it's funny because my wife is 2 of my loves. Because we was together when we was young for a whole year, and honestly, I could say that was probably one of the first like relationships that I felt like I was like in love. That was a long, like, still to this day, she's my longest relationship. Like back then, she was my longest, and now she's my longest. So we basically we was together when we was younger, and then we broke up for a little while, and I basically was dating somebody else who I guess I kind of felt, but I only felt the beginning part of the relationship.
Right.
So me personally, I don't really think that is a love.
Right.
But at the time, that's what I thought. I felt like I was head over heels and all of that. And then I met my wife again, and then we got married, been
Well, you
together
said
ever
again,
since.
she's the same person, unless she's schizophrenic, and I don't want
No.
to be insensitive.
No.
And granted, people change, so they might be different, but essentially she's
Yeah.
the same person.
Yeah.
So would you really say you met her, because you said you met her again?
Well,
You mean you ran into her again?
Yeah, I ran into her. Well, I ain't meet her again.
Yeah.
I ran into her again. But it felt different, but it felt better than what it was when we were together the first time.
Okay.
Because the first time, that's that young puppy love. Anytime we got into an argument, we was, oh, I'm not talking to the other person, blah, blah, blah. And then when we came back to it, that's when we actually started working on each other and working on any of the faults that we have in our relationship.
Okay.
Instead of, because most relationships, when you get to that first argument, that basically tells you where you Gary go with it. Like
Right.
either your relationship is Gary fail because of this, or your relationship is actually going to be positive because of it.
Right.
And when we basically literally sat down and started talking to each other about the issues, I was like, all right, yeah, this is definitely the relationship that I want. Because relationships fail as soon as they get into a disagreement. And the fact that we put that aside and talked about it and figured it out and understand each other's point of view on it, I feel like that's something big to me. Like, if we can work through that, we can work through anything. So we just been working through it all.
So let me ask you this question then. In your second love, well, before I go there, I'm going to ask you this question. Think about it. I didn't answer about the first love for me.
Mm-hmm.
Your second love then, because they say you think this is going to be the one, and this one is the right one, but you're kind of doing all the same things you did in the first one because you're still kind of living in that idealistic realm because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
And they said even worse than the first time, like you might hide some of who you are to make it work with this person because this is your love.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in love with the idea of being at love, even young.
Yeah.
Because when I sat and thought about it, I'm like, I guess I'm thinking like, because I read the article and I'm thinking high school and I'm thinking maybe it doesn't have to be the same timeline that some of these other people experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's one person that to me, it seems later than other people I dated when I was younger that I'm like, wow. And I talked about this person before in another podcast. Like this was the one that got away, and this was probably the first person because it was like a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
But then as time went on, I felt like a lot of times where I thought it in the beginning, it just, I don't know. I think it's the newness. Like that's why I say, because I made the joke earlier when we were talking. I said, did I burn all 3 of mine out on my 3 marriages? Shit, only 3? Fuck.
Sheesh. Yeah. But I feel like that's society's determination of it. Because in reality, I feel like your loves are only the ones that you actually truly feel that for. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody has multiple relationships that at one point they truly felt like they was in love and felt like this could be the one and all of that. But when you actually look back at it, it's mainly the ones that you honestly felt like could have went a distance. Like your 3 marriages, they went a distance. They're not just a year fucking relationship. They're a while.
Right.
And that's basically what that is. I feel like that's, as long as it's something that you actually felt was important and felt was right.
Right.
Like, because anybody knows when you're in a relationship, you feel when it feels right. Everybody knows when it feels right, and they think they know when it feels right.
Right.
But at times, when you look back at what relationships you had, you'll know which ones didn't truly feel right, or it was just your young mind, or it was just your mentality at the time.
See, I think at a certain age, it's funny, my friend Danielle once called me cynical when we were talking about the whole idea of marriage. I didn't mean to make quotes like, I don't respect marriage. That looked terrible. But the whole idea of marriage, she had called me cynical because of some of my views on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I think about it, I think after having a bad relationship like your first love could be, it might make you, especially if you're a thinker and the hunter, the gatherer, the strategist, that I think I thought of it too logically to let myself get to the point of feeling in love or not. I think I was so guarded.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Because even after my third marriage was ending and I had a breakdown, I had broke my foot at work when I worked with Alex the first time that day.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And I tried to bring it up because he said I bring it up all the time, so I haven't. But and I'm crying to my mother-in-law at the time. And as days go by, and you think I cried probably like 30 days, but and most of it was the loss of that relationship. But a lot of it too is I had been so, let me make sure this person's good. Let me make sure so focused on making sure everybody else is good. I wasn't in love with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of my youth was robbed because of the way I just thought logically about.
Yeah.
Like I maybe never have allowed myself to the whole liberty and independence to just feel 100% emotion with no thought in it. Mm-hmm. But I think when you're a man, and a provider, you don't have the luxury of that sometimes. Or this could be my brain trying to justify why I did that.
I can see why you could think that. But I feel like damn, I did it again.
I've been at a point. No, this is why I say it. I've been at a point where there was somebody that I felt like passionately for.
Yeah.
And everything about the relationship made zero sense. Like activities, likes, but something it just worked. And call me crazy, but I know that person felt that too. Mm. And then there was another option to go a different way. Mm. And my brain logically, where my life was, and where my life, I knew my life wanted to go. It didn't make sense, so I didn't pursue it.
Yeah.
So is that wrong? You know what I mean?
Nah, I honestly don't feel like that's wrong. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, it probably wouldn't have worked out how you thought it was going to work out.
That was me discussing my second love later, so everybody knows we were tied into the topic. But.
Nah, that's facts though. I can understand thinking like that because. Because that's a big part of it too, is seeing it. Because if you can't see it, like mentally, it's not, you're automatically your mind's going to be turned off for the fact that this could possibly be what I'm looking for and all of that because everything else doesn't click how it's supposed to. And I feel like a lot of it goes with loving yourself.
True, but I feel like maybe I've never, and maybe I do. Maybe that's just the way my body feels it. Mm-hmm. But I think like, if you look at the way people throw caution to the wind in movies, right? Like I was, like I said, in love with the idea of being in love.
Yeah.
Like, I'd listen to mostly R&B music back then. I would listen to these songs and
my man was dancing in the rain and shit. The Usher motherfucker.
He said Amari. I said when I was in high school. I remember I used to have this recurring dream about who my first love was going to be, right? Mm-hmm. And in this recurring dream, I was much older in the dream than I was in real life. I'd come home from a hard day's work, whatever I was doing. And I was like dressed in a suit. And apparently I was doing well because I had this big old house. And my wife says, "Oh, you had a hard day? Come on over here. I'm gonna make you feel better." Not that kind of dream, guys.
I thought she was going to say, "Let me put a ponytail up." That's what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
I might have been too young to even understand why the ponytail up was going to be an important move. So she walks me over to this grand piano we have in our living room, and she sits me down on it and she rests my head on her shoulder, and she starts playing a song and singing. So I remember, I think I was like somewhere like a sophomore, junior in high school. That's how my brain used to think. I used to have this recurring dream.
That probably was your mind telling you that's your love for music.
Damn.
I just broke this
nigga got
nigga
deep.
shit, cuz.
Damn, I bought a 3-pack of tissues at Staples this morning and left them in the car. I never thought about that, but I would always, like, say I was talking to a chick and I'd be like, "Oh, Stacey, you play piano?" And I'm like,
"Oh, you're like, oh, she play piano. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one that was in the dream, cuz."
It wasn't.
No.
Several times it wasn't. But, you know,
this bitch can't play like her.
So are you saying that maybe I don't have the capacity to be in love with a human? I can only
no.
be in love with music.
Nah, I feel like you do have the capacity to be in love with a human. I feel like that was probably your younger self telling you to follow this dream that you have.
Damn.
That's what I think.
That's some deep shit.
I just made this man think about himself.
I'm going to be journaling up a storm this weekend. Dear diary. You'll never guess what somebody broke down for me. All these years I've wondered what was wrong. So, if T was your first and second love, based on the article, what happened to your third love?
That motherfucker gone. That one was unnecessary.
Okay.
Because they're literally like that relationship that I had was literally like it was just the puppy love phase. But it was after. It's funny, it was after I just had this long relationship, so I felt like I was in the same boat as you. I was in the ideal of being in love.
Right.
So I just wanted somebody to love. And I just started dating this girl, was with her for a couple months, like maybe 6 max. And then I realized like why am I doing this? There's no reason for this. And we broke up and I was basically single that whole time, and I didn't have the thought of wanting to have like a full-on relationship. Like I had some, but none of them really like
you want a companionship, but on your terms.
Yeah, and none of them was like really what I was looking for at all. And then I ran back into my wife, and shit just took off.
So she's just 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, basically.
So she's it.
Yeah, she's it.
So technically, you got number 1, but forever.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes now seeing the whole thing kind of makes sense. What you said.
Now that it unravels, yep, it definitely.
So you got 1
does.
and 3. You never had a 2.
Never had a 2.
Okay. It's funny. I watched this. We watched this show months or last year sometime. But basically, the long and short of it, the person created this thing, and you were genetically coded to be this was your 1. Mm-hmm. This was your number 3 and end all be all and everything. And so what happens is, like, you know, you would submit DNA, you would submit DNA, but it might not necessarily be the person you're with. Mm-hmm. So here's the question. So everybody submits these DNA profiles if you choose to, right? And so your DNA gets matched with some girl out in California, or even another country, because it was all over. And so this was meant to be genetically your true love, and they had showed these studies and these relationships where when these people met, they would instantly get this feeling like, I know you from somewhere, like I'm connected. Like they would feel connected to the person automatically.
Yeah.
So if something were like that, I don't even know if we ever finished the show, because I feel like there was a stage where the husband was like, absolutely, like I feel like you would be like, absolutely not. I don't need to know. I'm with my forever person.
Exactly.
But the wife was a little bit insecure
and wanted him to.
And so she took a piece of his hair or something and got the test done, and he got matched. And the person happened to be within their circle. Oh, I remember what happened. I was like, how'd they get in the same circle? She went and signed up to like her yoga class or something, because she was so curious about who this woman that is meant to be his wife is. And because they're together, he knows that his wife, he's trying to plan a party for his wife or something. Long story less long, they end up being in the same room, and she's like, holy shit, because he doesn't know that. And then they have this connection. I feel like we didn't finish it, or they never renewed it, because I feel like we don't know what happened with, because he was torn once he found out too, he kind of understood why he was feeling that way. Yeah. So let's say in another multiversal planet, because it would never happen in the main universe here, your wife did that to you. And now I'll try to make up a name that couldn't be common and accidentally call it ex-girlfriend or nothing. Jenny. I don't know. He might have dated Jenny.
Nah, I ain't dating no Jenny.
All right.
Nah.
You bump into Jenny at work, and you feel that instant connection. And then she tells you, "Yeah, I submitted your DNA." Would you be curious to find out if it will work with Jenny?
Nope. I wouldn't really.
I was asking the question. I'm like, this is boring content.
I was about to say, yeah, it's no, because the way that I feel, if I already in my mind feel like I have what I need, there's no reason for me to pursue any other person. Like, if I've already feel like I'm complete and I have what I need in my life, that's not even a thought for me. That's not even I don't have to process that because I don't care. Like, I already got something. Like, and I feel like that's a part of a lot of the problems. People already have somebody who's good and they start being like, let me see what this person talking about just because they make them laugh or some shit. Like,
but maybe they're still seeking because they haven't met 3 yet.
Yeah.
See, I used to chalk mine up to, I don't think I was still seeking necessarily. I just think I like new shit. Like equipment, I'll be like, I want to buy something new and I don't need it. And I've had to learn to discipline myself to say, you don't need it. You got everything you need.
New equipment. Fucking
you just met me in a period where I was investing into the business. That's all. I haven't bought anything in a long time since. Shout out to my guy Josie because I got to get some other stuff. So I think some people might still be looking for 3. But like again, I say sometimes I don't think I'm human because I think I'd be okay. Or I think I'm mentally I could, unless the person was an absolute fuck up, I used to find this is gonna make me sound like a horrible human being. But let's say we were single and we went out somewhere. He's like, "Oh, my girl has a friend for you." Right? I'm a guy. I'm your guy. I'm gonna lay myself across the wire for you to get over. So my brain can create something to make a connection so that I don't have a horrible time. And maybe that's why we're so good at what we do.
Yeah, you finding anything. Like, I don't like her, but she got decent kneecaps.
When you look past that hair growing out her nose, she's got some pretty eyes in there. It's all right, I can work with that.
That's funny.
I don't know if it's a gift or a curse.
I mean, I guess that's a way of trying to look for something positive.
See, I think
that's almost like having a positive mindset. Like, even though you know it's nothing there, you try to look for something that's positive.
See, I don't think it's nothing. I think I've heard so many other people put importance on the in love part, not so much on the love part. Because I love and I care and I know the people that I love. But I just never felt like past like high school that in love that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't think it's meant to. I still think it's just me succumbing to societal norms. Like, I don't think it's a feeling that's supposed to be forever.
Nah, yeah. Nah, that feeling is like the puppy love stage.
Because real love to me is when the person in the relationship that survives the ups and downs and the challenges, and that to me is real. And that person stuck around when it got difficult, and times are hard, and if they can help you out, that person extends their hand to help you out. That's more important to me than in love. Yep,
that is true. Like, I feel like that's the biggest thing, and that's where a lot of people fell short because they're just looking for the emotional feel, but not looking for the actual, not physical. Because people gonna think I'm talking about something else, but it's almost a mental thing. Like, mentally, you understand where I come from and understand what I want to do, and you basically help me to be a better person and help me because you know what I want to accomplish. So you help me try to do the things that I'm looking for. I feel like that's part of love. Like, not just a temporary, I'm happy, I want to see this person every day. Because when you see that person every day, at times, you're not going to want to see that every day. Yeah. But that's a fact, though.
It's like, it was one time, I never forget the first time. Like, I like being around people, but then there's times where I want to be in a bubble and emotionally recharge. I'm an empath, so if I'm around challenging energy all day, I feel drained. Like, there's certain people that I would go spend time with, and then by the time I was done being around them, I would just wanted to lay around and not do anything because they had just drained all my energy out. Not intentionally, but just the nature.
Yeah, because being though you giving out your energy, it is draining. Like, just to have people constantly take and take and take and take. Because one thing I do know about empaths, they feel what other people feel.
Yes.
So if this person next to you is in like a depressive mood, you're going to feel that,
depressed.
and you're going to try to help them feel better, but you're going to feel the way they going to walk away all hunky dory. Yeah, I'm good, and you're going to be like, and that's how empaths are. So I can feel like that definitely is straining.
Where was that going though?
I don't know, but
Shit.
I understood where you was coming from with
The beat threw me off.
the beat. I saw you look, man.
I was giving a natural pause in case, So, fuck, what were we talking about right before that?
We was talking about
The person being there and sticking with you through thick and thin, and no matter what, being in it. Oh, that's what I was telling the story. And one time I come home and I wanted to be around Susan, but I didn't want her to talk. It is not really a polite
way to
ask.
There's no way to say that.
But I just looked and I said, listen, I want you to sit right here next to me on the couch. But I just want you to. And I think she was kind of taken aback for it. But now, 6+ years later, she'll say that to me. She's like, I just need you to be quiet for a little bit. And I think that's healthy.
Yeah,
people
that is
look
healthy.
at me like I'm crazy when I say it. Like, you ain't shit.
Nah, that's true. I said the same thing when you first told me that.
When I first told you, you told me
I
I
was like,
wasn't
yeah. But now I understand that though, because sometimes you always want that person's company, but sometimes you just need to get your thoughts and your mental together for a moment.
Yeah.
So it'll feel relaxing just having them there, but you don't want to hear nothing they want to say at the moment. I definitely understand that. Stand that. She probably gonna ask me why I say I understand that. She gonna cuss me out, but it's all right. It's all right.
It's like I love Zach, but sometimes at work I didn't want to fucking hear him talk. I'm trying to send him to do other tasks.
Facts.
He
always
still
end up
talking.
Yeah, you'll hear him talking. He'll find somebody else.
But a customer. Talk to everybody but a customer.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit. 1, 2, 3, and done.
I feel like that's hard to believe.
No, I think
in a way.
I don't think most people.
I feel like everybody's everybody don't get that.
I look at couples that are high school sweethearts, and I used to, again, this hopeless romantic, used to think, "This is how it's gonna be. It's gonna be me and this person forever in our grand piano room, playing me tunes before we go to bed."
Jenny can't play the piano.
Nope. I mean, I looked for it a lot too.
I did
because back then you couldn't tell me that person did not exist, and I was bound to find it. And now I learned maybe I was just channeling my variant in the multiverse.
Facts. You probably was, bro.
Let's pose a question to our viewers. What do they think? What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, we want to know your thoughts on it.
Like, leave some comments either below the video or on our Instagram or Facebook and let us know. Do you believe, 2 questions at minimum, do you believe that everybody gets 3 loves? And have you experienced your 3 loves? Feel free to put names or not. Don't feel the pressure to tag anybody at your
own risk.
But we want to hear what you guys think about it. What are your final thoughts, sir?
My final thoughts. I don't have any. It's like, nah, same as always. Work hard, love everybody, and try to make the world better.
I say, if you haven't found any one of your 3, pursue them. Be honest. Never sacrifice yourself.
Love is real.
Because love is real. You'll subdue yourself for that person, and eventually it's going to come to some harm, not physical, but just some mental harm to either one of you, or worse, you could resent that person that you love. So always be yourself. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Shout out to our unofficial, official executive producer, because next week is her birthday.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, T.
Happy birthday, babe.
So play this one slow because we will not be here next week. But we got you the week after, guys. Thank you much. With love. Peace.